but in the book department, as though that made it better. Then they all laughed about President Carter, Mrs. Thatcher, Laura Ashley, and the latest biography by Antonia Fraser, which everyone seemed to have read except me. I know one should try to look vivacious at parties when one's stuck with boring people. Attractive men are always supposed to think what fun you look, and come over and introduce themselves, but the man in the charcoal grey suit was showing no signs of approaching me, and any minute I'd be buried alive in cashew nuts. The flatmate came round with the sausages. I drew her aside. "Who's the man in the grey suit?" Her face brightened. "Oh, isn't he lovely? He's called Pendle. Pendle Mulholland." "I bet he made that up." "He's quite capable of it," she said. "Marcia invited him. She says he's absolutely brilliant. Evidently he was called to the bar younger than anyone else in years." "He ought to be called to the bar more often," I said crossly. "He hasn't touched his drink. It might make him more jolly." I'm a trier at parties, so I chatted up all the draggy men and danced around to the record player, but I was conscious all the time of this Pendle man watching me like a cat. Perhaps the fruit salad was more potent than I'd thought, because I finally went up to him and said, "Why don't you have another drink and look a bit more jolly?" "There isn't any whiskey," he said, "and the local wine's a bit too vigorous for me, although it's done wonders for that plant." He pointed to a mauve chrysanthemum in a pot on the table. "It was quite dead when I arrived." I giggled and took another sip at my drink. "I can't place the tangy flavour," I said. "Vim, probably. Marcia mixed it in the wash basin." "You must have the constitution of an ox," he added, as I drained the glass. "I'm after the cherry," I said. "I hear you're a solicitor." "Barrister. I never know the difference. I talk more in court." "What did you do today?" "Defended a wife-basher." "Goodness, how exciting. Did you get him off?" "Naturally." "How?" "By proving his wife was utterly impossible." "Was she?" "Shouldn't think so. That isn't the point," he said. "My job was to get him off." "Defending the wicked for the sake of worldly gain," I said. I examined his cold, fleshless face, with its beautiful bone structure and strange, grey, unblinking, deep-set eyes. He must look stunning in a wig. Robespierre, the charcoal grey incorruptible. "I bet you're absolutely lethal in court," I said. He gave a thin smile and told me about a drugs case in which he'd been prosecuting the week before. I found it riveting. I was also fascinated how detached he was. Then a diversion was caused by one of Marcia's young men, who had mistakenly thought it was fancy dress and had turned up as a goat in a furry coat and pink udders. I had had enough to drink by then to think it terribly funny, and started crying with laughter. Looking up suddenly, I saw Pendle absolutely devouring me with his eyes. "Are you taking me for A-levels?" I said, groping for a tissue. "Didn't your mother ever teach you it was rude to stare?" "I'm sorry. You're extraordinarily like someone I used to know." "My boss doesn't like solicitors," I said. "He says, but for them, he'd have had a perfectly amicable divorce." "They all say that. What do you do?" "I'm a copywriter. I sit in an office all day thinking what to put. Then, when I finally put it down, Rodney, my boss, comes along, changes it all, and pretends it was his idea in the first place. He's been away all week shooting." "Grouse?" asked Pendle. "No, butter commercials in Devon." I'd obviously been hogging the most attractive man in the room for too long, because Marcia came up and asked Pendle if he was all right. Bloody rude, I thought. Then she asked me if I was going to the old girls' reunion in Pavilion Road. I said I wasn't. Had I seen anything of old Piggy Hesketh? I said I hadn't. Then I admired her dress, because I couldn't think of anything else to say. "Laura Ashley, of course," she said smugly. Red-faced flatmates were now staggering in under piles of plates towards a table at the other end of the room. "There's eats whenever you need them," she said. Suddenly, there was a lot of shrieking and some...